How's it going, everyone? And welcome to the two-person edition, again, of No Excuses on VGWProductions.com with your favorite show hosts, Ari Still.
And Fern. And not Vol because he's dying.
Yes, Vol seems to have contracted some kind of horrible, nasty throat, sicky, icky.
Yeah.
So he has lost his voice for the week. He's here, but he can't talk.
Yes.
So, if you want to get involved with the show, you can follow us on our Twitter at NoExcusesVTW. You can get on the Discord by going to the VGWProductions.com website and finding any of our show posts and clicking on the logo. Or what else can they do, Fern?
They
Send
can
us an email at noexcusesVTW@gmail.com. There you go.
One more place, actually. I've finally got off my butt and actually managed to do some things for a change. You can now join our Discord by going to the comments or the description of any of our YouTube posts. It is, in fact, down below right now if you're watching it in YouTube.
Yes, this is the best place to do it.
Yes, it is. And it is something I probably should have done a while ago. But lazy.
Yes. Yes, honestly, if you're going to interact with all of us, or any of us, the best place to do it is the Discord, because we usually have it open.
Yeah, I've got too many things on my screen to really pay too much attention to YouTube chat, and YouTube chat is pretty universally awful anyway.
Yeah, we will eventually respond to you on the Discord. It's about the most reliable place you can get in touch with us.
Yep, indeed.
So, it is Weird Person Down this week, so it's going to be a maybe slightly shorter show. We will see.
We do have a rant that could take a while. Let's try not... It's us saying that people are stupid over and over again, honestly, but that can take a while.
It's a fun discussion, but it is not a particularly meaty one, so I don't know if it will go long or not. Anyway, we'll start with your week and see where we go when we get there.
All right.
Foreshadowing.
So, this week, I've actually played a bit of West of Loathing on Cerithus's recommendation a couple of weeks ago. And that's actually what's on the screen now, so I'm going to start up a new game here, because why not? It is a strange game. So, let me see. Apparently my character is going to be called Howdy Simmons. Let's go with that. It's a Wild West stick figure point-and-click adventure with some light turn-based RPG combat in it. And everything is, everyone is a stick figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of turned me off from it as soon as I saw that.
It looks very graphically simple. And that's because it is, I guess. But there's a lot of rather clever... I'm just going to skip all that bit, by the way. Some rather clever writing. But I'm not going to spoil any of that because a lot of it does play on Wild West tropes. So
tumbleweed.
The tumbleweeds, the cows coming home is probably the biggest joke they have running. The world is shaped by this event, which is the cows coming home. And what I can tell from what I've played so far is, at one point all the cows just vanished off various cattle properties and things, and then they came back demonically possessed. Because why not? So yeah, people have been getting by mining meat and soup out of the ground because reasons. I'm just going to play this game as we go through the show, and you can see some of this nonsense for yourself. And I'm going to turn on stupid walking mode because why not? It's always worth a laugh just watching some of these idiotic walks. Some of them aren't even walks. Some of them is just dragging your face in the dirt.
Is it a ministry of silly walks?
Some of it is, actually. That was a half-dead Vol. Hello.
I think
he's be plugging that very much because I can barely speak.
Yeah. Don't stress yourself, dude. Yeah.
So, Monty Python references aside, what else have you done?
Oh dear, I am slowly and surely despairing at the slow death of my computer. So this week the thing that died was actually a RAM socket rather than a RAM stick, so that was fun. I have discovered that a modern computer will not work on 4 gig of RAM. At all. It'll boot.
No.
And that's about it.
No, I hope you don't plan on running anything other than the OS.
That's about all you can do, yes.
Like, I'm surprised you can run the recording software.
Oh no, I fixed it. I'm back up to 8 gig now.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. I've actually got the RAM in there in a configuration that, 10 years ago would not work at all. Thankfully, I'm glad that a lot of the restrictions on how RAM used to work have been sorted out. Because otherwise I'd be doomed.
RAM's always been pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like,
I think, looking at it now, I've got a RAM stick in socket B1 and A2. So, meh.
unless you're talking about how your CPU communicates with your RAM, there ain't a whole lot of ways you can mess with RAM other than...
It's figuring out which one's the dead socket.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, in this case, it's B2. A1 is inaccessible because of the stonking great heatsink I've had to stick into it. So, I'm currently just looking around trying to find the best deal on a new motherboard, new processor, and new RAM.
Just go to your local big box shop, buy a box that's a little like this, some cheap box that nobody wants, and just look in it and make sure it has a decent motherboard and CPU, and that's all you care about. Doesn't need a video card, doesn't need a sound chip. You just take that box home, and then you replace the parts that are jank. Is the cheapest way I've found to build a computer, at least in the US.
Yeah, not so much in Australia. Your cheap boxes are Dell.
Okay, you don't go quite that bad. You go
No.
You go like with a cheap iBuyPower or something, like something along those lines, and you just take that box home and replace all the parts that are...
Yeah, it's an option, and I should probably look at that. I'm keeping an eye on various sites, like there's always Newegg and things like that.
Newegg has gotten worse as the years go on. Like, steadily, they've gone from my go-to source to like one I'll check occasionally because they just don't have the same good deals they do anymore. They used to.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is for where y'all live, or if they're an international site or what, but at least for us selling to the U.S.,
No.
Newegg is not what they used to be at all.
Nope.
Like, I get better deals on Amazon half the time now is how bad they've gotten.
Amazon is just getting set up in Australia, and they really don't have the buying power because there's a lot of people who just don't really want to deal with them. They're kind of bullies.
I had to... We can pulse Amazon. That's all you're getting for now.
Let's not go into that rant, shall we?
Oh, we're going into it, just not right now.
Yeah, another time. So, yeah.
We'll give it 20 minutes at least.
So, because I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I'm actually going to have to order online. The local options, really, for buying a semi-built box is Harvey Norman. And they tend to have at least a 20% markup on everything. I guess so that they get some leeway when they because you can negotiate with them a lot. So they, I guess they leave that so they can wiggle down. So yeah, I'm just going to keep shopping around. I'm not going to just randomly buy anything unless of course the box dies completely, in which case I'm going to have to. But if I can milk a few more weeks out of it so I can get a good deal, then I'm going to do that.
We need to get you in a proper center of civilization where you can actually go to stores.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those proper centers tend to be kind of crap.
Yeah.
My
area's got like 5 more years before Atlantis subsumes it, and I have to move further north.
Nom 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 nom. Yeah. I think the only real capital of Australia I could probably stand to live in is Brisbane and maybe Perth.
You don't have to go like city civilization. Just go to a decent town.
That is city. You have coastal city and you have rural town and not a whole lot of in between. You also have Mount Isa, but don't go to Mount Isa like ever. Not if you can help it. Oh dear. And now I'm going to dig through a spittoon that has been cleaned with 6 months with my dirty hands. That's the sort of thing this game does, by the way. The narrator actually gets really fed up with you digging through spittoons. And there's always something worthwhile in the bottom of them. So it's worth it just for the narration. What else? I finally sat down with Fate Grand Order, stopped being lazy, and finished France. I feel like I cheated. I honestly do. Most of my characters were horrendously boosted up because of going through the Garden of Sinners event. And yeah, we both me and Vol got massive power boost out of it. So everything up until the final fight was pretty much a cakewalk. Even the supposedly nigh unstoppable giant dragon Fafnir was nothing. But going against Gene Alter, I borrowed somebody's Hercules, a berserker, who'd been maxed out, and just one-shot her with him. One combo, done. She was down.
Yeah.
So
He put the Glad in Gladiator.
he did. He very much did. Hercules is probably one of the single best berserkers you can get in that game.
I got another one on the show.
Urgh. He's also one actually you can pull out of the starting pool, by the way, so you can actually just keep restarting the game and deleting local content until you get him, if you want to start out with him. Don't do that because that's kind of cheating, but yeah. You could, in theory.
No. This is... I have my permission to go ahead and do that as much as you heckin' want.
I got Liz out of it, and I'm happy with Liz, even though she's kind of mid-tier.
Like, restarting a gacha game over and over again, if it lets you, gets the solid thumbs up approval rating. Like,
yeah.
Don't. If you actually really, really want to play this game, restart it as many times as you want. No, don't. Gacha games will ruin your life.
Yeah. Exploit the gacha until you can get something you want out of it. What else did I really play this week? That's honestly about it. Oh, Monster Hunter, of course. I managed to capture myself my first Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a Cheaty McCheetah face.
He's a mean B-52.
He is, and he just does not care. So, he looks like he should be easy. If you're fighting him from a distance, he looks like he's just showing off all the time, and leaves himself wide open. Which he does, except for one thing, is that when he's up and flexing and showing off and carrying on, he's throwing scales everywhere. Those scales go boom, and they hurt.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
He's a giant joke.
I am fine with everything Beetlejuice does, except for his one completely untelegraphed side. Like, he's just kind of starts rolling around on the ground like a dog does.
Yeah.
Scrape his side on the ground, and it has no telegraph on it.
Yeah, he just falls over and just drags his wing into the ground.
Yeah, like, he just pretends he's a dog for 5 seconds. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Nergigante does the same thing, now that I think of it.
Nergigante's not nearly as bad, though, for some reason. Like,
no. It's probably because
we
practiced against him in the demo.
Well, Nergigante you practice against way more in Beetlejuice anyway, just because you got to kill Nergigante so many dang times when you're farming him that you just get used to it. There might be subtle tells there that are just hard to see that you just pick up on and don't notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't fight Beetlejuice enough to pick up on the tell, so...
I don't really need any armor out of Beetlejuice. I can now just say I've done Beetlejuice. Actually, I need the Zora Magdaros hat at this point because I'm currently building a blast set. So yeah, I've got Dodogama's chest piece. I need the Zora Magdaros hat, and then I've got to figure out what the rest I'm doing. I'm probably just going to stack Slugger. Because Bombardier does not enhance blast damage anymore. They changed that in Generations. It used to be that Bombardier was horrendously broken and overpowered. It would enhance blast procs, it would enhance slime procs, bombs, heavy bowgun, everything that did any sort of explosion, it would buff. So, yeah, that was a bit broken. I think that's about it for me. So, Ari, what did you do?
All right. So I promised we'll get mad at Amazon, and we are going to get mad at Amazon
Okay.
because it involves my job.
Oh,
So,
no.
there has been hiccups at work with who's doing what because of staff changes, and this has left me in a bit of a limbo this week, with a lot of stuff to do, but nobody to give that work to.
Right.
So, with like just floating around. So, the best use of my time was for my boss to say his father-in-law needed help setting up advertising on Amazon with, or yeah, his father-in-law needed help setting up advertising on Amazon for his self-published book that is terrible, by the way. Like awful. Like the trash I throw away as outlines for adventures is better than what I read of that book.
Oh dear. What kind of book is it anyway? Out of curiosity.
Of course, he's someone over the age of 40 that watches TV. Of course, it's a murder mystery thing.
Oh, of course.
So I have to sit there, and for the first 3 hours, I'm digging through every reference he's ever made to anything to try and help him remember what the heck email he used to publish this book on with Amazon.
Oh dear.
Because he could not remember it. And so after I'd lost half a head of hair doing that, I have to get on with Amazon and explain to him why you don't want to put 1,500 bajillion tags on your stupid advertisement because you don't want this book showing up on Winnie the Pooh.
No. Not.
Like, he's putting like crazy and mayhem there. I'm like, this is going to show up on like some children's book about a dinosaur on the moon if you put all this happening. I'll put all these stupid tags on here. You're paying for a certain number of times per 1,000 loads of a web page for this thing to show up. You want this to show up on pages in books where people are actually going to click it and maybe want to subject themselves to this terrible book. But no. He just did not get it. Eventually, I had to call in reinforcements and have them come convince him to stop doing it.
They don't charge per tag or something, do they?
No, they charge frequency of. They charge you for the frequency it's going to show up, and then the amount of times that thing gets clicked. And I'm sitting there trying to tell him, nobody's going to click this link if it doesn't show up on the appropriate things, because if this thing only shows up once per 1,000 page loads, if one of those page loads that it actually shows up on is on Winnie the Pooh or whatever, because you've got these generic word nondescript tags everywhere, you're not going to get a click.
Nope.
And he just didn't get it. So I booked my friend, and I think I outright told him his friend's an idiot. And then you can only set up this system for one of your products per 3 days, so you don't swamp their advertising server, which I understand with advertising servers, because you want to heavily regulate that stuff.
Yep.
And I'm like, we got to wait 3 days because they don't want you swamping their server, and he just didn't get that either. And I'm like, you are an 83-year-old man who has written a terrible book that is making me try and do this when I really need to be doing work for something else, but I can't because people are busy shuffling between positions right now. I am not in the mood to deal with this. It was very hard to keep a straight, neutral face on and just say I'm working on it the whole time he's sitting there pestering me. I about lost my mind.
Ugh.
But yes, an Amazon system is a royal pain in the butt to set up anyway.
Yeah, it sounds it.
Like, that's just the external, non-Amazon related parts of the story. Actually setting up that junk with Amazon, it's buried in sub-websites of sub-websites that all are linked to the same account.
Why though?
Ugh. Because Amazon's stupid.
Ugh.
Ugh. There's no easy way to get to this at all.
Oh dear. I thought eBay was terrible.
Yeah, Amazon is like, you have to go to like ams.amazon.com, Amazon or advertising management services.amazon.com or something like that. And it's like, this website has no way to access it normally. You have to know about it. Find.
Okay.
It was so stupid. And then in that website has further sub-websites for the type of advertising you want to go to. I'm just like, this is beyond stupid. It didn't take that long to figure out, but it was a royal pain in the butt.
It sounds it. Just, ugh.
Yeah. It was a horrible, terrible experience.
And all to sell a really, really awful book, which is probably not going to sell.
Yeah. If it's sold 10 copies. I'm pretty sure he's given away more copies than have sold.
Yay!
Yes. So, what else? So that was the oddity of work this week, aside from position shuffling, which is too complicated to get into. Oh dear. So my genre of choice this week for video gaming has been slow-paced RPGs with an isometric view.
Mm-hmm.
Because recently I realized there have been many, air quotes, spiritual successors to like the Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, Planescape games.
Yep. It's been a thing lately.
So I decided to give them all a shot.
Yep.
And in general, this is my roundup of the ones I've tried, of the 3 I poked at. Tides of Numenera is the worst.
Yeah. Tides of Numenera is also the one with the most hype, annoyingly enough.
It has the best world. Well, it's tied for best world with one of the other ones. But its characters you could replace with cardboard.
Uh-huh.
Not interesting.
Yeah, I tried Tides, and I just could not get invested in it.
Like, it's got a cool idea for its actual world, but its world's key mechanic, the tide system, is vague and bland and I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's bog standard, like, character cliche cutouts. Like, I don't care. I couldn't get myself attached to them in the first 5 hours at all and dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay is nothing to write home about either. It feels it's one of the more dated of the 3 I tried.
Yeah, it is pretty much copy-paste from the old Baldur's Gate engine.
Yeah, it feels like Planescape Torment. Like, it's old.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I suppose
it's brand new, but it feels old.
Yeah. It's the same thing Ukulele did, is they said on the Kickstarter, this is what we're doing, we're basically remaking this game, and warts and all.
Yeah, and them warts make it look ugly, yo. It's not a pretty game.
Yep.
Well, the environments are pretty sometimes. I thought the fleshy, like, inside the monster town that exists was really well done and had a whole lot of detail in it, but everything else was bland as bland could be.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that was the first one that got dropped, and I won't be poking at that one ever again.
I might poke at it if I get time again at some point, maybe.
The middle of the ground one was Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah.
So this one has a whole lot of quirks that I don't like, but one reason has made me play it more than the other ones. Mm-hmm. And I'll talk about that first because it's the most significant. That is, it has a way to play it with a controller that is infinitely faster than playing it with mouse and keyboard. And less frustrating as well. Where if you hold the A button, your interact button normally, a zone will spread out from your character and highlight everything around you. And if you let go, it'll pull up a box of everything you just highlighted, so you can quickly sift through everything around you and pick what you want to interact with. And you don't waste time clicking on everything in the area around you. Like that random sheet of paper that you don't need because you got 50 of them sitting in your bank already. You don't have to bother interacting with it. Like, you can just move stuff around and interact with stuff from that list. And you can quickly cordon off areas into zones as big as that circle can get and get through a room in like a minute instead of 5. So it is 5 times faster to play with a dang controller. So that's why I've stuck with Divinity the most. Now, that said, Divinity has one bugbear that gets me the whole way I'm playing through it. The characters are fine so far. They're not standout. They're not bad. They're very middle of the road, at least with the party I picked, which is the Infant Bread Man and Sibyl. Their story is kind of tied together, so you have to take them together. And I took Loesch with me, who is a pain in the butt to keep attitude up with. Because you can accidentally, despite her saying, yes, thank you for doing all of this for me, you'll lose 40 attitude with her for no reason in the prologue or in the first chapter.
Okay, just no reason. She just says, nah, I don't like you now.
Yeah, it is completely incongruent with everything going on. You'll think you were doing stuff right by her and figure out that 20 hours ago you had just lost 40 out attitude and there's nothing you can do about it and she's going to leave your party.
Huh.
And I looked this up and everybody's hacked off about it. Her story is otherwise supposedly one of the better ones in the game, but this little bit of it that can just make her leave your party randomly if you don't do it right is terrible. So it turns out the correct solution is just to not bring her in that cave. But also, her story trigger never happens there because you don't need it anyway.
Right.
Like, the correct solution is to disconnect her from your party and leave her outside the cave entrance. And you have no, by the way, and just leave her outside the cave entrance. And just go inside and do all the quests in the cave without her. Don't ever let her enter that cave.
And you just don't randomly lose her reputation, or
yeah. Because if a character hits negative attitude, they'll leave your party forever, and that's it. Their quest is over. That means storyline's gone. So yeah, I didn't care for Pompous Lizard Prince Man. He came off as too snooty to be funny. They were trying for funny snooty, but they got too much snooty in their funny, so he didn't get in the party. He started off okay, but his snooty started to overtake his funny like pretty dang quick, so he got the boot. If I had another slot, I would take Beast, who is the dwarf, who is legitimately funny, but I just didn't have any room for him, and I wanted to keep Infrared Man's story going, but I needed Sybil for that story. So Sybil is kind of just there by nature of her quests all relate to the Infran-bred, his name is impossible to say, Infran-bred man. I still don't know his name. 2 chapters into the game, but you need them together to get the full story of what happened there. So yeah, and the last one was like I forget. It's like the undead dude who's supposedly related to the Void stuff, but I just don't have room for him, and he's off in the middle of nowhere with a ridiculous side quest to even get him to join your party. So I didn't bother with it. Because all my other characters would have been leveled up by that point, and leveling in that game is really hard. So I just didn't bother with him. But yeah, of the 3 I picked, they're fairly serviceable after you get past the bugbear hump with Losh's story. The problem is I've yet to hit the next trigger point for her story because it isn't until halfway through chapter 2 out of the 4 chapters that are in the game. So you get her in your party, like, right after the first batch of quests, you're told a little bit about it, and then for 20 hours, you don't hear about her story again.
Oh, joy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really dumb.
Yeah, that sounds dumb.
Yeah, so, but because of the way it plays, I've put the most time into it, because it's the easiest to pick up a controller and play while I'm watching, I don't know, like Digimon or something on the other screen. I've been going through all the seasons, because I've had it on my head. Let's see. And the best game as an actual video game with the best characters in it, because you don't play these games for their gameplay, to be completely honest.
No.
It is secondary to the narrative that's going on. And that's Pillars of Eternity. It has the best narrative and the best overall story going on. It has the best world mechanics and the most interesting universe so far. And despite Divinity being the one that you would think have the gods of the world be the focal point of the story in the title, it's actually Pillars of Eternity that has the divines of the world being the core focus of the story.
Yep.
Like, and I've always found the way that people construct their cosmologies and their divine dudes in their universe to be very interesting. So that's always been something I like reading about in the wikis. And they've set up this whole game to be about the different gods and their interactions with each other and their followers' interactions with each other.
Right.
When there's like one nation that is devoted to like the fire god of war and one devoted to the god of light and redemption, who are currently having a spat right now because the light guy invaded the fire and the war nation's people. So they blew the god up.
Right.
Their god sent a message down to their followers and like, okay, this is a problem, dudes. You guys need to blow up that avatar of that god, so you blow up the god.
That makes sense to me, I guess.
So while he's walking across the bridge, she just empowers this bomb they make, because they don't have the tech to make bombs, but she gives them the information on how to make a bomb, and they just blow the god's avatar up. Like, okay, that's pretty metal. Let's see how far this goes. There's another story about a god who decided that the ancient civilizations had progressed too far and called the moon down to blow up everybody. And the god of craftsmanship's like, nah, they're working. They built this stuff legit. I'm going to save them. So he headbutts the moon and is now in a coma.
What? Okay, I think I need to play this.
Like,
it sounds absurd.
Like, the cosmology in this universe is amazing. I love all the writing for it. It's so cool. And the universe's mechanic is really cool too. They found a way to quantify that the soul is a thing that exists and manipulate it, and that's how you use your magic and stuff.
Okay.
But this also means you can obliterate people's souls, and there is no afterlife for those. They just get explodified.
Ah. Okay.
Now there is supposedly even more to this cosmology that I don't know about yet, and I've heard it's very spoiler heavy, and like you get into super spoilers after about chapter 2, because although the arc words that go around everywhere are "do the gods exist," which, given that I told you the cosmology is awesome, makes me really wonder how that fits into everything.
Yeah. Like,
So I
hope they
actually wanna
exist
know what
because they're
the heck's going
metal.
on. They are. Well, they clearly do. They send. I think it has more to do with what type of gods they are. I have a theory, but I don't, because it's probably right, and I'm probably going off subtle information I picked up everywhere. I don't want to give it away.
Yep.
But I think they do exist in air quotes, and that because they're able to send avatars down and cause miracles. Like, that's the thing that happens. They clearly exist in some form or fashion. But the arc words are "do the gods exist?"
Right.
But yeah, it's a really cool universe. I just like everything that's going on in it. And it has the best characters as well. One of the guys you recruit, I'm at the point in his story where you figure out he was one of the 12 engineers and the only survivor of the bomb that blew up the god. So he's trying to figure out why his god's not talking to him after that little incident.
Probably because he's in lots of little pieces.
Well, no, he's a Darth, but apparently it burned his soul when the bomb blew up. It was such a ridiculous explosion, and he just happened to survive.
Right.
Everybody else that was building it died, apparently, but I don't know where that goes from there. And that's not even related to his story. That's in books I found that are related to him. The other one, like the other, is a character who, when that war happened, he fought on the side of his country rather than on the side of his god. Mm-hmm. Which he was a follower of the light god living in the red fiery war god's territory, and he didn't know which side his brother fought for, but he assumed he would fight for the country and not his god. But as his stories go, it might not be the truth. So he's starting to question what he really did and whether it was right or not. So his story's really interesting. And what's the other follower I take around everywhere? It's one of the newer dudes I dug up. I forget. It's been a while since I played, and I just found them. But yeah. It's really cool. I like the way the characters are written. I like the universe's mechanic and the narrative itself in that universe a lot more than the other two. So, of like the first third for Divinity and Pillars is way better. And I haven't played enough of Tides to give you a full assessment on it, but it's just not a very good game from the like 3 to 5 hours I put into it so far.
Yeah, Tides just takes the warts and all approach, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying Pillars, and I'm having fun playing Divinity, despite the story being fairly meh.
Yeah.
So Pillars and Divinity get a big recommendation and a cautionary recommendation, respectively, and Tides gets a avoid it, unfortunately. I don't think anybody should really give it a shot. It's not very good.
Yeah. All right. Anything else possibly water-related for you?
Oh, yes. So, if you hear people running around in my house right now, I have been mopping for the past 3 hours, and my arms are killing me. Because a pipe burst. Because, of course it did. Because this house was made on the cheap.
Yeah.
So instead of using proper copper bearings for all the pipes, we used plastic.
Oh, no.
So, literally, the entire unfinished area of the basement is flooded. I have mopped up the whole dang thing, which was not a small feat, I will add. It took me many hours, and there are still work being done, and my father is running around trying to contain it and stop the drips. There are also buckets everywhere, so if a drip starts happening, then you know what happened.
Oh dear.
Now, thankfully, this water is not on my half of the basement this time, so of course it's an emergency this time. Because it's not in my area, it's in his area of the basement. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when it wasn't a big deal when it was my half of the basement being...
And this time it's not poo water.
Yeah. No, regular water in his half of the basement. That's an emergency.
And it's not poo water. Apparently poo water's not an emergency.
Well, to be fair, the poo part of the water did not back up. Did not back all the way up. So,
Oh, it's you still get the smell.
yeah, you do after it starts to get to a point. But
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah. So if you hear water running, that's what happened. And that's about it. I'm going to be very busy for the next 2.5 weeks as well, with work shifting around the way it is. So this will be the last week I give like full played the video games and watched the animes. Oh, there is an anime I watched we can talk about a bit.
Go for it.
So I actually watched an anime. I know, right? It's been like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that, since I've sat down and watched an anime.
Oh, something.
Yeah, I haven't been into anime very hard. There just hadn't been anything in recent seasons that really jumps out to me.
One's an anime.
Yes. Okay. No new anime. I'll put a qualifier on it if you feel better. But yes, I haven't sat down and watched any of the recent anime that have come out really, other than the occasional one-offs. But yeah, so Fate Apocrypha came out, and it's simul-released with the dub, which was an influence on me watching it because I like dubs. If you don't like dubs and think your subs only get at me, I'll fight you. If you're gonna phenom at me about dubs, get at me. I will fight you.
Dubs are fine, as long as they're done properly.
So, unfortunately, this is not a good case for me, because the Fate Apocrypha dub is, for most characters, pretty decent. For the info dub character and a few select other ones, it is not. It is terrible. I had to switch to sub.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to hear about Fate Apocrypha itself in as the weeks go on. But so I'm going to talk to you about the only thing that I can talk to you about uniquely, and that is the dub. And Sieg's voice is a brand new dude. He's okay. Most of the servants are okay. Mordred's especially really good. And I forget Necrobro's name because
I can never remember Necrobro's name either. It's all right.
Well, Necrobro has a really good voice. And those two together are the best parts of the dub, as they are in the normal show as well. But you get to the black servants, and they're hit and miss. Girly Boy's okay, but Chiron, our resident info dump character, is terrible.
Oh dear.
He is the worst VA I've heard in a while that has a lot of speaking roles. And anytime they have to explain anything, you have to listen to this horrible voice. It's bad. It's really bad. The other bad ones. And one of them is Atalanta, and she is just awful. And the ADR just had no idea what to do with a mono-minded character, I guess, because she just can't speak. And I give this character a little bit of a pass, because the voice actor was doing triple duty, doing 3 different voice characters in the show, and just could not stretch her voice any further. She did Jack's mom and one other major character. I forget who she did. But, yeah. So that one gets a little bit of a pass because of the circumstances behind it, but it's still not very good. The worst voice, thankfully, only has like 12 lines in the whole show. That's Siegfried proper. So Siegfried is just, you have to hear it to believe it. It's terrible. But thankfully he's not on screen very much, and when he is, he generally isn't speaking very much.
Yeah.
Like, he gets one episode where he has more than like 3 lines, and it's not that big a deal that he's terrible, but he's just, oh boy. It goes past so bad it's good back into bad again.
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible.
I'll just keep watching the sub then.
Yeah, do not watch the dub of Fate Apocrypha. It is not worth it.
Has Fate ever actually done a good dub?
Yeah, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Unlimited Blade Works dub, or the Fate Zero dub. Both of them are great dubs. Fate Zero dub's one of the better dubs out there, period. Like,
okay.
Crispin Freeman as Kyrie is amazing.
Yeah, that's actually true. Crispin Freeman as Kyrie is, well, creepy.
The dude that plays Kiritsugu, I forget his name off the top of my head. He's really good too. But yeah, it's just this particular one. Other than that, I thought the show was pretty good. Although I don't want to talk too much about the show, it's the fandom and how I don't understand something.
Right.
So I got into like a 2-hour-long discussion with Paul about this over the week. I don't get the Astolfo thing.
Yeah.
So I finished the show, right? And I go onto the Reddits and the forums, and I'm looking for any kind of discussion about, things I thought would be popular, like, relationship between Mordred and Necrobro, which is the best part of the show, or what's his nuts? Golem Bro and Golem Jerkwad, both of them, or anything related to the Grail War itself. No, nothing. Absolutely none of that. It's all Astolfo all day, every day, everywhere, all the time.
Yep, everyone likes their trap, apparently.
Like, Girly Boy is the only thing they care about. I'm like, okay, guys, I understand. I liked Astolfo in the show, too, but this is too much. This does not make any sense. He should not be the obsessive target. I don't get that. I thought Astolfo was a fairly decent character in the show, but I do not understand all this obsession over him.
Fandoms are weird. That's all there really is to it. Fandoms are really weird.
I get it. I get why you like him, but this is too much. This is too much, Girly Boy. Can we please focus on the more interesting parts of the show? He's worth like 1, maybe 2 topics at most. Not this. But yes, it has made discussion about the show very difficult.
Yep.
Especially because I find, although Mordred's the runner-up from what I've seen of the Waifu Wars, I find no discussion about her and Necrobro's relationship, which is the interesting thing to talk about. I only find discussions about how she's hotter than Astolfo and no, she's not.
I'm
like, this is not what we want to talk about, and I'm sitting there banging my head on my table.
No.
And then I'm just like, fate's become too mainstream. Gotta find a new series.
Waifu Wars continue to happen. Fate is on Netflix now, so it's got a whole new audience for disturbing waifu walls. Ugh.
Yep. Can we please go back to when this was a hipster, nobody knows about it thing?
Nope, too late.
There were still waifu wars. They still existed, but they were not this. They were not all Astolfo all day, every day.
That's just wrong. I don't like, honestly get the whole waifu thing. It's just why.
Like, I could get the conversations if they were talking about how Astolfo is an underdog of a servant and appears underpowered on paper until you really look at what his noble phantasms can do. I can get them talking about Astolfo's psychology and why he's absolutely bonkers, but none of that. It's all just, isn't Astolfo hot? And I'm like, no, you're wrong.
Nope.
They're just so dumb.
So much of the dumbness. All right.
Like, there's a lot of interesting things about that character, but how hot it is and why Astolfo is prettier than Mordred is not something I want to talk about with this. So I decided to let the fire die down, and maybe I'll remember it and poke about the discussion forums to see if anybody managed to get anywhere with anything other than how hot Astolfo is.
Probably not.
In the future, but probably not.
All right.
So yeah, I actually want to wait for Ball before I talk about the show in proper.
Yep.
And he can actually talk.
I've got to sit down and watch the second half of it myself, so yeah, no spoilers.
So that'll be a good springboard for when we actually talk about the show itself.
Yep.
So yeah, do we have any email? Because I haven't checked the box.
We do not today.
Okay. So that was a rant and a half. Let's go to a break.
Let's do that. So
all right, we'll be back after some music. And we're back.
Yes, indeedy. With more complete nonsense.
Indeed. I gotta get the shot out of my system. Ugh. So, Fern, you were foreshadowing with a certain nights that don't have winter in them.
That never have winter in them, in fact. So we've got a few... Well, we've got Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition coming up by Beamdog again, who's been doing a lot of this sort of thing lately.
So, yeah. Let me save you some trouble here.
Oh dear.
They have one video posted of this thing, and it shows nothing.
No, it's an hour and change long, and it shows nothing.
Like, they show you for that full hour, there are 10 minutes of gameplay. Half of them are in the old engine showing you what it used to be. And the other 5 minutes are them showing off that same room in the new engine with slightly different lighting.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it. So, as much as I'd love to go back and play Neverwinter Nights again, it looks kind of lazy.
Yeah, just a bit.
Just a bit. I'd love Neverwinter Nights.
Back in the day, yeah, Neverwinter Nights was great. Neverwinter Nights 2 was great. That Mask of the Betrayer was one of my favorite parts of it. But
yeah. Neither of them has aged particularly well.
No, they have not.
No. Oh dear. So that's a thing coming up.
Yeah.
I'd like them to do it properly. Like, there's some things you could clean up with the gameplay. There's some plot holes that need filling.
That's not the important thing, though. You need a full engine overhaul.
Oh yeah, the old engine just
like,
no.
Yeah, you need to just throw out the old game and remake it. Like, this is so dated that it's not going to fly with anybody nowadays.
No, it has not aged well.
Yeah.
I can't words good. It has not aged at all well. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, like, this is just no, thank you.
Nah. Oh dear.
The other thing that's getting an update that's been announced. So everybody knows about Pathfinder, right? So
yeah, anyone who's done any sort of tabletop pen and paper type dealie has probably played a little bit of Pathfinder.
All right, everybody, raise your hand if you played it when it came out, and remember how young you were at the time.
And now
feel old. We done? We done?
Welcome to the world of the old.
Okay, you can put your hands down now. Okay. Everybody just raise your hands. You're old. Welcome to the club. Okay. So after more than 1 decade and some change, they have decided that Pathfinder needs an update.
Yep, we have 2nd edition Pathfinder now.
Yeah. And people love Pathfinder. I don't know why. Because the solution to fixing Pathfinder is the same solution that you have to fixing 3.5, which is you go in your gun closet, you find your favorite firearm, you flip to the section that says skills in the handbook, and you fill it with bullets. And that is how 3.5. That is... So, I don't know what they plan on doing with this, but I have not been a Pathfinder fan specifically for the same reason I've dropped 3.5. The skills are just too ingrained in everything, and they're too terrible. They take up too much time with too many dice rolls. Like, ugh. I guess they are talking about the Pathfinder universe as well, which I've never gotten into. The actual Pathfinder lore and universe they have set up, I forget what their world is called. But I don't follow it at all. So, but yeah, this is a thing I felt people should know about since we talked about tabletop a lot of it, and
a lot of it.
Yeah, a little bit, a lot when we do, but not very often.
All right, there we go.
But yes, this is a thing I felt people should know is happening for if they happen to be Pathfinder fans. But I am not myself a Pathfinder fan.
It's neat. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Right. Now.
I'm just reflecting on the Americanness of the analogy I gave on how to fix it.
That was incredibly American, yes. You might want to tone down the Americanness a bit.
Yeah. So, the big topic this week. This quickly. Okay.
Yeah, Nintendo did a thing.
They did a thing. They did a direct thing. Let's see here. So before we get to it, aside from a couple announcements and the one big announcement, this is mostly Nintendo saying, "Hey, look, we finally got third-party support back."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So we already mentioned the butthole game, but they decided to put that in the announcement.
Yeah, that's still a bit of a head scratcher as to what that's doing on a Nintendo console, but okay. Oh, hey. Bless you all.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't reach the mute mic button. It came on so quick. Okay. Yes. So, the butthole game is here.
The butthole game.
Let's talk about that. Let's see. I don't have anything to say about Dead Heartbreakers, the inside story stuff, or the Bowser Jr. journey. I don't have anything to say about those.
I have to say the inside story thing is a bit of a boggler for me, because it wasn't all that long ago that Bowser's Inside Story came out, was it?
No. Yes. Actually, I think it was.
Oh no, I'm old.
Original DS show.
Oh wow, yeah, okay, that's just showing age now. Oh grief.
Yeah, that was a bit ago. At least 5+ years ago.
Yee. Okay, let's move on before I just wither into dust then, shall we?
Yeah.
So, interesting. Good news. Good game. Crash on the Switch.
Yeah. Never thought you'd see that as a kid.
Nope.
Sony's unofficial PlayStation mascot showing up on a Nintendo console.
Okay, also, let's get on this wagon right now because everybody else has gone full crazy.
No. I'm not saying certain characters.
Saying it.
You're not going to make me do it.
Say it.
No, you're not. I'm stopping you right now.
So, we'll come back to that, but, Just why, Internet? Stop it. Stop it now.
So, yes, we've covered all the other things that happened, other than Okami on the Switch, which is interesting, but I've already rebought the Okami HD game, like, twice.
Yeah. Okami was on the Wii U.
Party.
And, yeah, it was good. Okami remains good.
Easy port for easy money, I guess.
Yep, pretty much.
So, yeah, Okami's a thing. We've talked about Okami before. So, let's talk about the stupid.
Alright, pick a stupid, any stupid.
Okay, we'll do this part of the stupid. So, Smash 4 got announced. Again. A mysterious Super Smash Brothers game that everybody is sure is a brand new original Smash game has been announced for the Switch.
Nope.
Despite... Yeah, no.
No.
We know nothing about this game.
We know really
like
2.5 things, I guess. One is a kind of an up in the air. First is that there's a Smash coming to the Switch. A Smash.
Yeah. Something Smash-like with the Smash logo on fire.
Yep. The Inklings have something to do with it. And Link probably has a Breath of the Wild skin. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we know.
That's all we know.
People are treating... But the internet reaction has been immediately to speculation. Who's going to be in Smash 5, yo? I'm like, no, you knuckleheads.
No.
There's a 9 out of 10 chance that this is not a new Switch or not a new Smash. In fact, I'd say it's 99 out of 100. This is a freaking port because it didn't sell on the old console.
Well, it did. It's more on the
sold,
3DS than anything else, but...
Yeah, it sold, but it did not sell because it was on the old system.
Yeah.
The raw numbers were not there because the install base was terrible.
Yeah.
Despite being the system's most popular game. It's a freaking port to capitalize on all the new people. I guarantee it.
Until we see otherwise, I am assuming it is going to be, the definitive edition or something. They're going to add a few more characters. They're going to give it a coat of paint. They're going to hopefully fix up those terrible gimmicky game modes. Like, nobody likes Smash Tour.
Yeah, they're going to do something. They're going to prettify it. They're going to polish it up. And they're going to say, hey, look, Smash on the Switch. And this is a thing.
Yep.
It's effectively going to be Smash 4 on the Switch.
Yep. And please stop insulting us by giving more costumes to the Mii fighters instead of making them actual playable characters.
Yeah, like, nobody uses the Mii fighters.
I use them as gimmicky, let's screw around kind of fighters, and that's about it.
Yeah. But yeah, what has got me with all this Smash stuff is all these people are coming up with all these ridiculous justifications for why this is totally a brand new Smash game. They're like, look at the copyright on it. There's no Bandai Namco like there was in the original Smash trailer. I'm like, yeah, what Bandai Namco characters do you see in this new trailer?
Nothing. Everything in there is
None.
original Nintendo IP.
Yes, you dum-dums. Like, oh, the copyright dates doesn't say 2017 to 2018. I'm like, no, really? Because, you know, the Switch version of the game is probably going to be a brand new game, yes, in air quotes, but it's a different product, even if it's the exact same thing. As long as it's got a different name and a few new game modes, it's a different thing. This also accounts for, it's an original game, it said so. Yes, it is an original game. Just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is an original game. Like, it's still Mario Kart 8, but the copyright is still for Mario Kart Deluxe. They are treated as two separate things legally.
That's
copyright. Dum-dums.
You dum-dums, yes. So, yeah, I've seen all sorts of things, like people going through the very, very possibly broken magnifying glass and analysing the silhouettes at the back. Say, oh, I see this character in there, and I see that character in there. And, yeah, you could probably pick a few out, but no, there are no new characters in there. No, Goku is not in there. Anyone who's I've seen that.
Did you really think? Oh, dear.
But I see that every time. Every time there's a new Smash Bros, everyone says, let's put Goku in it. No. So, yeah.
Like, yeah. Your favorite character that was relevant 20 years ago is not... Please stop talking about how Isaac is going to be in the game.
I'd like to see Isaac in the game. Golden Sun was great.
I would love to see Isaac in the game, but it's not going to happen.
Probably not, no.
The last Golden Sun game was terrible.
What last Golden Sun game? That didn't happen.
The one on the DS.
Nope. That didn't happen.
That had the protagonist kids in there.
No.
It was so bad, despite ending on a cliffhanger, it never got a sequel.
No, that game does not exist. What nonsense is this? If I say it enough, it will be true. Ugh.
No, Doom Dragon died, and they saved the world.
Yep.
That's it.
Story ended.
They fought that dragon on top of Mars Tower with 3 heads in a stupid BS boss fight with ridiculous rules and gimmicks behind it, and that was it.
Yep. Oh, no.
The dragon was really hard. As a kid. He had really wonky hidden rules and mechanics behind him that I just could not wrap my head around.
Oh, no. Those games did have some rather wonky things, but they were still great.
They were great RPGs. I love the Golden Sun series.
Except for that mascot character. Ugh.
What mascot character?
You raise an excellent point.
Like, they had legitimately, what mascot character?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that was the one.
They're a race. They're like 75 of them or something or not.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which one was the one that really annoyed me. It was so long ago now.
Yeah, they're just effectively Moogles.
Yeah.
You keep them in your inventory and equip a certain number of them to change your class. That's as far as their function or dialogue in the game goes. They aren't a mascot.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Smash. I'd happy to see a Smash on the Switch, but don't read into things. Like,
yeah, I'm fine with Smash coming to Switch. It's fine if we get a new Smash version. Like, nobody wants to play on the Wii U version. I didn't want to play on the Wii U version. Like,
I did.
I might pick it up on the Switch, but we'll see. I'll probably pick it up because I guarantee people are going to want to play it, and I don't technically own the Switch.
Yeah, that's going to probably cause arguments.
Oh, it'll get picked up, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, it's Smash is happening. Okay, cool. We're getting a new Switch, but stop pretending you know more than you do.
Yeah, there is no information.
Don't pretend you're smart. Yeah, don't pretend you can pull information out of your butt. It's not happening.
Nobody likes butt information.
Information that comes from your butt is not reliable.
No.
Please stop it.
Leave your butt out of this.
But yeah, That is pretty much it. Like, people are just being really dumb. I actually dug up a video that's a pretty good debunking video on all the current information that's going around about, oh my god.
I am so glad things just broke there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Like, I'm digging through to find any last minute things because I thought that would last a bit longer.
No.
Told you it wouldn't last quite that long.
There's some interesting games that they listed, and some I really have to wonder, like, why are people getting excited about Undertale? That game everyone has already played.
Yeah, like Undertale again. Oh, it's a game with a fan. So any game with a fan base, when it gets a new iteration or announcement on a new console, is going to pipe up and be vocal.
Especially Undertales.
Yeah, Undertale has one of the toxic fandoms. Very much so.
Yeah.
There are... I feel bad for normal people that like games that have a toxic fandom, because finding sub-fandoms within that bubble that are not insane is impossible.
Hey, we read through Homestuck. I liked Homestuck, but the fandom was, well, creepy beyond all reason.
There's, yeah, like the Doopa Loopa fandom is terrible unless you happen to go to one specific subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, it's pretty hard to keep the crazies out of that one. Like, just fandoms in general, as a whole, it's very hard to find sub-fandoms that are good when a general fandom is crazy. But I think that's the big reason Undertale's getting a buzz.
Yeah.
I don't even see it on the list of relevant announced games, because just nobody that's an average gamer cares that Undertale's coming to the Switch.
No, they don't.
So yeah.
Yeah, we get another Captain Toad. Captain Toad looks interesting, but it's a little mini game side thing. So that's cool. Splatoon 2 is an interesting one, though. They've done a big update, but they've also announced their big DLC called Octo Expansion.
Octale gets an expansion?
No, definitely not.
I don't think the haterade can make Splatoon much better.
I don't know. I like Splatoon. Splatoon's fun, but I gotta wonder about this. It's a single-player DLC for an ostensibly multiplayer game.
Yeah, that was the big reason I didn't get into Splatoon.
Yeah, well, there is single player. There
is, just like there's single player in Street Fighter.
No, there's not. There, Street Fighter 5. Let's not start that rant again. But yeah, it's
throwaway story mode, like
80 levels from what I can gather from the trailer of their usual platforming nonsense, which I played through the first Splatoon's one, and it was fun the first time through, and that was about it. But if you complete all 80 and hit the end of that story, you unlock, of all things, a new playable race. You can actually play as the Octolings in multiplayer. That changes absolutely nothing in terms of gameplay, but yeah, you just
except for the part where octopi are infinitely better than squids.
That sounds like an argument that is worthy of terrible fandoms.
You do know what the running guild has been that I've been in forever, right?
I can't remember it right now.
It's called Giant Octopus.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, it's been the running guild until Emmerich showed up and decided that we didn't want to use that name.
Fair enough. Alright, next game. Next game is Travis Strikes Again. No More Heroes.
Yeah, this appears to be the Suda51 thing that got teased, but we didn't know what it was.
Well, there was a No More Heroes title teased a while ago, and this appears to be it.
Yeah.
So it's LOL video games, from what I could tell. Travis goes into the virtual world and does a thing. Well, which I suppose is better, about the same storyline as Travis buys a lightsaber and does a thing.
Yeah, the No More Heroes games are weird. I wonder if they're going to go with the isekai parody route or if they're going to go with the video game parody route.
They could probably do both.
Like, they could, but I'm wondering how they're going to take this, because yeah, it's a No More Heroes game. They got to make fun of whatever they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just wondering who the parody barrel is being pointed at this time.
The previous two games did not discriminate. They printed the parody barrel at everything.
I don't know. We will have to see.
Yeah.
I've never actually played through all of No More Heroes 1 and did not play No More Heroes 2 at all.
Really?
Yeah, it was on the Wii.
Oh, right. So, they're great. Both games are ridiculously silly, and I admit the sword charging motion is it's going to make it's just terrible. Let's face it, it's awful. But
Too exhausted to make the noise.
Yeah, let's not do that. So yeah, No More Heroes is great, and I would like to play this one. Although it is a visual noise fest.
Yeah, you have to have a certain level of energy available to play games like that. They are very excited games.
Yes, and it's all neon because video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did they talk about? They went on and on and on and on and on and on and on about Mario Tennis.
They did. I like Mario Tennis on the 64. That was the last one I liked.
Yeah. Honestly, I've never gotten into Mario Tennis. It's like, yay, it's tennis. Cool.
Mario.
Mario.
With tennis. It's Mario with spurts.
There's the spurts.
Like, I don't know. I can't get into it. It's like, just, okay.
Yeah.
Mario with sports.
Yep.
If I wanted to play sports, I'd go outside. I'm not outside because
that involves going outside. I think that's about everything worth talking about.
Other recommendations and stuff you can check out this week. Let's see. Blazing Azure Crow's latest something came out. He does good abridged series.
Oh, which...
It's been like... this is Digimon Adventure. He does Digimon Adventure, Tri, Fate Stay Night, and Bleach. He runs all 4 of those abridged series, so... His stuff's good. He gets a shout out. I had that he's made on autoplay at some point this week.
Right.
So I'll give him a free shout out.
Fair enough.
I don't really have anything else to talk about.
I don't, so let's start wrapping up, shall we? I know it's going to be a short show. We're a host down, and it's been a pretty dry week.
Yep. Oh, this actually only went up 2 hours ago. I need to watch this after the show. Okay.
Ooh.
We will be back. I don't think I'll have anywhere to go for a while, but I will be very busy. So, unfortunately, the recommendations will stop next week, and you will not get any media recommendations from me, other than the occasional thing I happen to squeeze in, because I'm going to be very, very busy for about 2.5 weeks. So, it will probably be going on until Tuesday the 27th. So, that's the earliest my crazy train will stop.
Right.
So yeah, we'll make it work. So we'll see you next week. Email topic of the week is what you think of the direct. Closing comments go.
If anyone spots any interesting computer deals in Australia, send them my way.
Yes.
My computer it is dying.
Yes, losing Fern for a week because of not having a computer would be bad.
All right. I'll figure something out.
Alrighty then. We will see you next week. Sayonara. Bye-bye.